Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to D666, Number of the Beast. This is a game from Tim Roberts, CriticalKit, the same designer that brought us Be Like a Crow, which I did feature on the channel a little while back. Link will be up here. But yes, welcome back to the channel. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. And what we have here is essentially another dungeon delve game, but with a twist, as you can probably tell by the theme here. Welcome to hell. You are playing as a demon who has been recently promoted by the Demon Lord to kind of torture souls. And to accomplish this job, you have to set up your hellish dungeon. So the game has very simple rules to create the dungeon. Very simplistic rules, actually. This is not a very in-depth game. There's not a lot of things you have to learn. There's not a lot of statistics or abilities or traits. It flows very well. It can take a little bit of time to play, an hour, maybe 2 hours, but it's a fun little exercise. It's a fun little game. You could use this as a resource, maybe not as the game that it is designed to be, but you could actually use this as a resource to create dungeons. There are many tools to create dungeons. This could be another one, but it is a game involving, like I say, you as a demon setting up and creating this dungeon, clearing out all of the current occupants, setting up machines of torture. Now, during the game, you will be fighting other creatures, combat. They're very basic combat mechanics. There are other ways that you can deal with the current occupants. You can trade, you can try and talk to them and persuade them to go away, kind of thing. But every time that you make one of these tests, be it combat or be it, persuasion, there is a chance that you will gain or lose reputation. So it can be a bit of a decision-making strategy, whether it's worth doing those extra tests to trade or to persuade. It can be beneficial, it can be bad for you as well. Now, the game is very dependent on your dice rolling. There are some ways to manipulate the results, but not a lot. So if, like me, you suck at dice rolling, this game can be brutal. Let's take a look inside. Right, this game you can purchase from the CriticalKit website. I think there is physical copies that you can purchase. There is also the PDF that I got. Also, quick disclaimer, I did actually invert the colors for the cover and the back cover, just to save ink, basically. The sort of default settings for the covers is actually a black background with white details. So I inverted the colors just to save on the ink. So you can download this or you can purchase the hard copy of this from their website. Again, I think there's hard copies. I have to double check. But it's actually a very small product. It's only about 20 pages, I think. And like I say, it's a fun little way to spend an hour or two. It's a solo game, but I'm pretty sure that you can play it with friends and have a good time as well. So let's take a look and see what you get. Well, the game is actually fairly simple. You roll or choose, if you want to, the type of demon that you're playing, and then you get some starting materials. So you're going to explore this dungeon, like I say, getting rid of the current occupants, and you're going to be collecting materials either by trading with who you find, or by defeating creatures that you find and sort of taking spoils of war. And these materials you'll be using to create these machines of torture. I forget what he actually calls them. What's the actual name that he uses to call them? Devices of Torment. So each different type of device requires certain materials. And the materials that's listed here is per soul. And like I say, one of the goals of the game, one of the ways to actually win the game, well, the only way to win the game, is to get 25 lost souls into those machines. 25 tormented souls is a correct title. So you're basically going to be collecting these materials, you're going to be finding these lost souls, build the machines, transfer the souls into the machines. 25, you win. Now, on the character sheet is very simple. You write a name for your character, the demon type, which is the one that you either choose or roll up. You have your material space here. We can write down the materials you find. You can also find some weapons that will give you bonuses in combat. But you've only got these three little boxes here in terms of your stats. Soul Catcher. So this is a weapon that you basically have, or a device that you have, that can hold up to 20 lost souls. When you then create one of these devices of torment, these torture machines, you can then transfer lost souls into the machine, which will then make them tormented souls. Now, your Soul Catcher, this device can only hold 20 at a time, 20 lost souls. So you have to transfer them as much as you can, as often as you can. Once you've got 25, you're good. The last one here, Hellish Reputation. This is another way that you can end the game, but this is the way that you lose the game, when your reputation becomes 0. Now, your reputation starts at 10. And every time that you make a test, whether it is persuasion or combat, you have to check and see whether you gain or lose reputation as well. Again, we'll see that as we play the game. And that's the character sheet. Like I say, it's not complex. It's very, very simple. So basically that's there. In terms of the turn structure, first of all, you generate an area on the map. You then generate an encounter for that area. You resolve those encounters. And then, if it's a room, you can build devices of torment or torture machines. But you need to have the materials to actually construct those machines. If you don't have the materials, you can't build it. And again, a reminder, the materials that they list here is per soul. Now, sometimes the instrument or the device will actually say here +1 lucky soul. What that means is that the machine or the device requires an operator. And that basically requires one of your lost souls to become a lucky soul. So in other words, when you build one of these instruments here, this hold music, a room that plays the same tune in an endless loop. Yeah, I mean, it's hell. It's got to be like a Justin Bieber song, yeah? Again and again and again, that's my hell. But yeah, you've basically got to have one sort of piece of metal per soul that you're going to torment, plus 1 lucky soul per soul you're going to torment. So essentially, when you create this device, you're deducting 2 lost souls, but you're only tormenting 1. Again, you'll see how this works as we play the game. What else is there? I mean, that's basically the turn. So when you're creating the area, you'll be rolling on this area prompt here, which is a D6. It also tells you the maximum number of tormented souls you can have in that particular area. Once you've created the area, you then roll for an encounter. The encounter is a 2d6 roll. It could be you find some lost souls. It could be that you find materials. You can also find creatures. Now, the creatures, you're rolling a D66. So you're rolling 2 6s, 1 is 10s, 1 is units. And the creatures can be all different kinds of demons. And I think I'm right in saying that the designer, Tim Roberts, actually did some proper research and found demons from all over the world and all kinds of legends and mythology to actually include in here. Very, very interesting. What else? So sometimes you will find materials. If you find materials, you're rolling on the materials table. 2d6 here. You normally find a d6 in terms of quantity. Excuse me. When you find a creature, so a lot of these encounters will actually be creatures. When you find a creature, you've got to roll again as a d66. And then you'll see that each creature has a description and they have two different values, hostility and combat. This is what you need to roll on 2d6 to pass, to succeed. In combat, you can add the bonus from any weapons that you have. The hostility value is what you use for anything which is non-combat. So if you are trying to persuade the monster to leave the area, if you're trying to persuade them to do something else, that is what you're going to have to try and roll. If you defeat them in combat, you get any spoils that are listed here. Normally it's in the form of materials, sometimes it's weapons. And then you roll another d6. On a 4+, the creature also has another material, again you roll on here, that you can trade with it. Now one point that you need to be aware of, it's not made that clear in the book, in the game, but you can't trade for what's listed under spoils. Yeah? For example, if you want to trade with this demon here, Amon, he's not going to pull out one of his claws and teeth just to trade that material with you. So you can't actually trade with what's listed as the spoils. What you have to do for every creature you meet, you roll a d6. On a 4+, you then roll d6 of a random material, and that is what they will trade with you. Now, every time that you're making one of these rolls, hostility or combat, you also have to check the degree of success or the degree of failure. How well you pass or how badly you fail. And this is what's going to affect your reputation. So, for example, if you succeed, if you try to persuade, maybe the creature is incredibly dangerous. Let's take a look at that one we looked at just now, Amon. Hostility 10, combat 8. Okay, well this guy's going to be easier to fight than it is to persuade. But let's say that we met Baphomet. I think it's the Demon Lord of Beasts. Combat of 12. Yeah, he's not easy to fight, but his hostility is 10. So it might be easier for you to actually persuade this guy to leave you alone. So you would roll the 2d6. If you succeed, so if you've got a 10 or higher in that example, you then have to roll a d6 to see how well you succeeded. On a 1 to 2, you got lucky, no effect. On a 3 or 4, well done. You want a medal or something? You get +1 reputation. So the reputation can go up as well. A 5 or 6, you gain 2 reputation. So your reputation will go up and down. However, if you fail, that's when it goes down. Again, once you fail a test, you've got to roll a d6 to find out how badly you fail. On a 1 or 2, I've got to be careful saying this, epic flustercook, you lose 2 reputation points. And any weapon you used in the test, if you used a weapon, is destroyed. On a 3 or 4, you lose 1 point. On a 5 or 6, no change. So again, remember, 1 way to win, 1 way to lose. 2 ways to end the game. To win, you've got to torment 25 souls, which means you've got to create 25 devices of torment. The other way to finish the game is when you lose, and that is when your reputation becomes 0. And that essentially is the game. There is one little thing, one little extra thing, bonk, 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 here it is. If you do come across a test or an encounter which is just, you think, too difficult for you, you can actually make a deal with the devil. Now, be warned, this can come back and bite you in the butt. What you can do is make a deal with the devil when you come across a test. You can spend reputation points to add to your next roll. So you can take reputation points to give you a plus to your roll. So for example, if you take if you want, for example, like a +2 to your roll, you can knock off 2 reputation points. Yeah, and since you lose when it goes down to 0, you've got to be careful, yeah? Now, if you then succeed in that test, you don't get those points back. They're gone. But if you fail that test, you lose double those points. So like I say, if you want a +2 to the roll, you take away, you subtract 2 reputation points, and if you fail, you've got to subtract another 2. Yeah. So dealing with the devil's not always reliable. What else is there? Yeah, like I say, if you come across a creature that is not hostile, Pantera. You can actually try to trade with them, but you do have to trade equal quantities. So, for example, if the creature that you meet has 3 wood, you may want to trade 3 of other resources for that wood, for example. But yeah, that's essentially how the game works. You're going to be exploring this dungeon, uncovering new rooms, new corridors. You're going to be finding creatures to trade with, to persuade them to leave, to fight with. You'll be finding souls, which you then have to put into machines you build. So it's a very simple game, very reliant on your dice rolling skills, but it is still a lot of fun. And like I say, if you don't want to play the game, you can still use it as a dungeon creator. What else is there? Oh yeah, one last thing before I forget. When you're rolling for your areas, rooms have to connect to corridors. So if you don't have any open corridors and you roll a room, you basically have to ignore that roll and then select one of the corridors instead, and then roll for the encounter in that corridor. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is everything. Let's go down to hell and play the game. Back in a second with our demon. Right, welcome back. We are now going to create our demon, and we are going to explore, clear, prepare, and build our dungeon for our new job. Torturing souls. Right. So we shall go to the creating the demons. For this game, you're going to need 3d6 as the as the game name kind of refers. You're going to need to have 3d6. However, the game doesn't have any D666 rolls where you're rolling 3 dice and 666, 3 digits, which is a bit of a missed opportunity. But they do recommend 2 dice of one colour and then 1 dice of a different colour for certain rolls. And again, as we play the game, you'll see why this is a useful choice. So what are we doing first? We are creating our demon. So to create the demon, you roll d6, or you can choose if you want to get your demon type. We get a 3, which is a marine demon. So this will be something like maybe like a deep one in the Cthulhu mythos, or so they called in D&D, Sorgan. I can't remember what they're called. Name, let's have a think. Marine, a water demon. Okay, let's be childish. We'll call him Bubble Sack. Whatever. Right. Your soul catcher can hold a maximum of 20 lost souls. We don't have any yet. We haven't tormented any of them yet because we haven't started the game, and our hellish reputation starts at 10. If it goes down to 0, we lose the game. Once we get 25 tormented souls, we win the game. Simple. Right, materials. Your starting character also starts with certain materials. As a marine demon, we start with, moving the character sheet. We start with 2 water. Now, I'm thinking that maybe the character sheet could be redesigned so that the materials actually has the actual material types actually printed on there, so you just have to write numbers next to them rather than having to write the materials all the time. because the materials don't change. There's certain materials, yeah. So maybe it would be a good idea to actually, adjust this so you have the material names actually printed on the character sheet. But never mind. Right, so we're starting off with 2 water. Can we actually make anything with just water? Nope. We need fire and lucky souls for that one. We need cloth and lucky souls for that one. We need bile and feathers for that one. So the answer is no. I can't do anything with just water, so I've got to find other materials. I've got no choice. I've got to. What else? I think that's it. I think we are ready to start. Now, for this game, you're going to need some grid paper, some square paper or whatever to actually draw your dungeon. You can also find dungeon software or dungeon sort of websites where you can actually create your dungeon online that look amazing. Places like, I think it's Dungeon Scrawl is a very good one. There are other map making softwares that have that dungeon element that you can use. But we're going old school. We're actually writing it on a piece of grid paper here. I have also printed out separately on a piece of card the cheat sheets. I've done it as a spread format. Now, at the back of the book, you do actually get, well, you've also got a third-party license. So if you want to redesign this, maybe for a different theme, there are ways to actually do that with this third-party license from criticalkit. You have these, again, at the back of the book, you have this cheat sheet, which basically tells you what to do and how to do it. So we have done that. We've printed that out on a separate piece of card that I'll keep to one side. And I've also put all the different prompt tables. So area, encounter, materials. I haven't put the creatures on here because it's too big, there's too many. But the others are here. I've also put down here the Devices of Torment as a quick reference. And I've also put down here the degrees of success and degrees of failure tables. Again, this is my quick reference sheet that I'll be putting to the side as my reference. But maybe, I don't know, it depends on space and whatever, but I'll show you as much as I can. Right, so I think we are ready to begin. So let me just rearrange slightly. So we've got our grid paper there, we've got our character sheet. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I don't think I'm going to do the complete dungeon, the complete game. I'll show you how the game works. Knowing my luck, I'll probably lose the reputation. Dead. But I think what I'll do is I will put the map on the top here and I'll write down the bottom the description. This will be a reference from me. If you play the game, I don't think you need to actually write down the information about the contents of each room and everything, but I'm going to, as a reference for you, a reference for me, but also in terms of when I'm doing the editing and stuff, it will help me to remember what's going on. Right, shut up, Scott. Let's get on with it. Right, first thing we need to do is to generate our first area. So again, in the book, you'll be getting area, encounter, materials, and creature prompts. Again, I didn't include the creature prompts on my quick reference sheet because there's too many of them. So yeah, let's get started. So our first area, we are going to roll a D6. Let's bring it back. So our first area, our starting area, we roll, we get a 5, a large room. That's a good place to start because a large room allows us to place 6 souls. Once we find lost souls and build the machines of torment or devices of torment, I can then put 6 souls into this room. So it's a good place to start. Right, it also says here in terms of dimensions, a small room, any wall can be no shorter than 10 foot, no longer than 25. A medium room, no shorter than 20, no longer than 45. And a large room, no shorter than 30, no longer than 60. I'm looking at this as a guide. I don't think there are really that much in terms of rules, in terms of how big the areas must be, but it's got to be obvious, small, medium, and large. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the rooms, let's have a think. Let's make the rooms 3 square for small, 5 square for medium, 7 square for large. Or is that too big? Let's have a look. So if I make it 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a bit big, isn't it? That's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a note here. A small room will be 3 by 3. Medium will be 5 by 5, and large will be 7 by 7. Now, why am I doing it as odd numbers? Well, that's so that there's a central column or row that I can actually do the corridors from. But again, you don't have to have the corridors in the center of the rooms. It's just my little thing. Right, so we have a large room. Now, this is going to be my entryway. Where's the center? That's roughly the center. So this is the entry to my dungeon. And it's going to be a 7 by 7. So, and again, you don't have to have them uniform. You can have them 7 by 6. You can do it 8 by 4. Doesn't matter. So that's 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. So you've got a big room to start with. Okay. So this will be room number 1. So we write down, where should we write? Let's write down here. So room number 1 is a large room. Right, so now for each area that you open or you investigate, you've got to see if there's an encounter. So you roll 2d6 and we get 11. So 11, 3d6 lost souls, and you can take control of this area. Brilliant. 3d6 lost souls to begin with. That is really good. So we start with 11 lost souls. Now, my soul catcher can only hold a maximum of 20, so I've got to keep an eye on that. But there's no materials. So at the moment, I still can't build any devices of torture or torment. So at the moment, they've got to stay in my soul catcher. It also says that I can take control of this area. So I can actually build the devices and the machines in there at a later time and put the souls in there at a later time. Right, that is the first area done. We now, no encounters to muck around with, no combat or anything else, no creatures to interact with. We can't build anything. So that's actually the end of the first turn. Now for the second turn, we now need to expand and investigate further the dungeon. There are no rules in the game, like I mentioned just now, in terms of your building size or shape. You can do whatever you want. Also in terms of construction, in terms of where the corridors are, where they go, there's no rules regarding that. I know that in some of the dungeon creators or dungeon generators, there are rules that say, where you can put corridors, or maybe you have to generate how many exits a room has when you roll it up. In this, there are no rules like that. You can do whatever you want. So what we're going to do next is we're going to generate our next area, which is a 3, a small room. Right, well, that's a problem because I have no open corridors to create that room. So the rules say that if you roll a room, but you don't have any open corridors to connect to, ignore that and build some form of corridor. Now, it does say that you can choose 1, 2, or 6. So crossroads, corridor, or T-junction. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a crossroads. Why? Because that's going to give me 3 potential links to rooms. So what I'm going to do is maybe down here, I'm actually going to build a crossroads. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend the corridors like that. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark it off because it represents an area, and I want to be able to identify which area is which, because you have to roll for encounters for each one. So this is now area 2. Oh, so room 1, we managed to find 11 lost souls. That's it. Area 2. is a crossroads, but we still have to roll for an encounter. But this area, even if I take control of it, if I get rid of any creatures that are there, I can't build any constructs or devices in there. Right, encounter. What's in the crossroads? We get a 5, a hostile creature that immediately engages you in combat. So this creature I cannot persuade, I cannot trade with, I have to fight. So a hostile creature, so we go to the creature prompts and we roll D666. So for this, you're going to need to have the 2 different colored dice. I will have the black as the tens, the white as the units. So we roll D66 and we get 62. So 62 is Abraxas. That sounds terrible. So I'm going to write that down here. Abraxas. Right. Now I've got to fight him because he says he's hostile. So Abraxas, head of a lion, tail of a dragon, and a big belly. Hostility 4, combat 8. Oh! Hostility would have been so much easier if he hadn't been hostile. Now, if I do defeat him in combat, I can get a whip, which gives me a +1 weapon. So if I use a weapon, I'll be getting a +1 in combat. And I can get teeth, which counts as a one sharp material. We also have to roll again. Let me just come back here. We also have to roll a d6. On a 4+, he has other materials in his possession. I'm not going to roll that yet with combat, because if I don't defeat him in combat, I'm not going to get the materials no matter what. So let's... we're going to do the combat no matter what. So for combat, what you can do, you're actually rolling 2 dice, and you're trying to get equal or higher than their combat value. But what I do, and I think what the game recommends, is you actually roll the 3 dice. These 2 dice of the same color will represent your combat score. And then the other color, the one by itself, will represent your degree of success or failure. So you're doing everything in one roll. So I've got to get an 8+. That is a 555. So we completely destroy him in combat. So we gain a weapon. Nice. Let's just move this out of the way first. So we gain a +1 whip. It says here, look, a whip, a +1 weapon. So in future combats, I'm going to be getting a +1 to the result. I also get +1 sharp materials. So we come to our materials, we write down here sharp materials 1. Now, because we defeated him in combat, we also have the potential for other materials. If the creature wasn't hostile, I would be rolling this as well to see if there's a potential for trade. But we've got to roll a 4+. No. So this Abraxas didn't have any other materials, so we only get, where is it? We only get what's listed under his spoils. So Abraxas has been defeated at this crossroads. We now have 1 sharp material and 2 water. Does that give me enough to build something? Let's have a look. Sharp and water. No, sharp and rock. No, no, and no. So it's not a good combination. Doesn't allow me to build anything. Dang it! Right, now, we've also got to determine the success. I did roll 3 5s, so the degree of the success was a 5. So, again, I'll be referring to my quick reference sheet after this, but I'm just showing you where they are in the book. So, we rolled a 5 for the degree of success. Nailed it. That's gotta feel good. Gained 2 hellish reputation points. So, my reputation is now 12. Yes. Very, very good. And we now have control of the crossroads, even though I can't actually build anything in there. Right, now we go to the next area. Let's see what we roll first, because if I roll corridor, I can actually attach the corridor back to the room here. If I roll a room, I can actually attach to one of these corridors. So we're rolling. I'm going to just reference my quick reference sheet now. So we're rolling, we get a 4. A 4 is a medium room. So I'm saying a medium room is a 5 by 5. So I have to attach it to a corridor. Let's put it down here. So we've got a 5 by 5 room. Again, you don't have to make them square. You don't have to make them certain sizes. As long as it roughly sort of conforms to what is small, medium, and large, you should be fine. So this is a medium room. This is going to be area number 3. So area 3. What is the encounter? We get a 9. So the encounter is a friendly creature, but you'll still need to persuade or fight it to take control of the area. It will trade without a skill check. Yeah, I think I mentioned in the intro, in terms of trading and making skill checks. I haven't actually seen anywhere that requires a skill check for trade. Every time I see trade, it normally says without a skill check. So, okay, so we find a friendly creature. Let's find out what the creature is. So again, I don't have this on my quick reference sheet, so I've got to refer to the book. Oops, sorry, we need this. So dark first. We get a, Amon! 1, 2. Amon, oh. A demon with a hawk's head and the body of a wolf. Okay, so hostility of 10, combat of 8. The spoils are actually pretty good, but again, look at these stats. Now, the creature is friendly, so I can see if he has anything for trade. So a 4+ he does. So he does have D6 of another material. So we come to the materials chart. Again, we're rolling. The black dice is the quantity. We get 3 of 8. Bile. So I get 3. I don't get. He has 3 quantity of bile. So we meet Amon. He has 3 bile. Now I could trade with him because it does say that I don't have to make a skill check. So I could trade for the bile, but what do I have? I have 2 water and 1 sharp. Now, is it worth trading for the bile? Let's have a look. Fire, water, rock, fire. Okay, bile, water, and feathers. It could be used for this. Bile can be used on its own to create. Ooh, so that's very useful. You see here, stink bombs. I can only need to use bile for that. So what I could do is I could actually trade my 3 materials, my water and my sharp, for his 3 bile, and I could create 3 devices of torment for 3 souls. Oh yeah, that's worth doing. And again, I don't have to make a skill check, so I will do that. So I will trade my 2 water, so I've got none left, and 1 sharp, and I will trade with him for 3 bile. Nice. Now, as it stands, I do not control this room. And the way that I've been playing it before is that if I do not control the room, I cannot pass through. However, I'm thinking that that's a little bit restrictive. Maybe if I fail the combat, I can't actually move through the room because the creature won't let me. But as long as the creature stays friendly, I think I can pass through. So again, I'm manipulating that little house rule a little bit. So I have traded with him. I can now, again, if I want control of this room, this is a medium room, which will allow me to put another 4 souls. Useful. Here's the thing. Hostility is 10. So if I want to persuade him to leave, I've got to get a 10+. If I fail, there's a chance that I'm going to lose reputation. Yeah, remember the degree of failure. If I try to fight him, his combat is 8. I need an 8+. If I fail, again, my little house rule basically means I can't, as well as losing the room, I also can't move through the room. What to do? Because having that room would be very useful. Combat 8. I do have a weapon now, so it would be a 7+. Yeah, I think I'm going to fight him. I think I'm going to fight Amon. So Amon has a combat of 8. I do have that +1 whip. So I need a 7+, and again we're rolling this for the degree. I need a 7+ to defeat him after trading with him. Backstabbing demon. Come on. No! That's not good. Okay, so we get a 5 + 1 is 6, which is less than that, so we lose the combat. The degree of failure is a 5. I think the failure high is good. Failure of 5, unlucky, doesn't affect your reputation. Okay, good. If it was a 1 or 2, I'd have lost 2 reputation and I'd have lost the weapon. All right, so we tried fighting Amon. We failed. So I'll put here a cross. And I'll put in this room here another cross. So I don't control that room, and because I lost the combat, again, my little house rule is I can't now pass through that room. Dang it. Right, now, once you've done and dealt with any encounters, you can now build. Now, I do have an area here that I can build. I can keep a maximum of 6 souls in there, but I've only got enough materials to build 3 devices. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be putting a stink bomb in the room, and because I'm going to be putting 3 souls, I've got to spend 3 bile. So in room 1, we now have stink bomb. Times 3. So I can actually put 3 souls in here. So I'm transferring, so now I've got 8 lost souls in my soul catcher, and I now have 3 tortured souls. So I'm on the way. I've got to get 25 to win the game. I'm on the way. Here we go. Oh, and the bile's gone. There you go. Right, that is the next turn done. Now we continue. Now what do I do next? Well, it's going to depend on what I roll. So here we go again. We're rolling the area. We get a 6. A 6 is a T-junction. A 3-way junction. And again, I can't put any souls in there. I can't put any devices. So where am I going to put the T-junction? I think I'm going to put the T-junction... Again, my house rule, I can't connect it to here because I'd failed the combat. So I think I'm going to put the T-junction up here. So we're going to do like... I think we're going to do like this. Bonk, bonk, bonk. There we go. So the T-junction's there. This is not a dead end. It's just a way for me to show the size of the area. So this is going to be area 4. Again, just to keep me a note down the bottom. So we've got a T-junction. Right, what encounter do we find? We find a 4. A 4 is another friendly creature. Still need to persuade or fight to take control. It will trade without a skill check. Okay, let's see what creature we get, shall we? Here's the creatures. Here's the creatures. We get... Oh, sorry, I need the D6. Dark first. We get a... Come on. 31. A hellcat. A cat that's on fire. That's all. All right, so we have a hellcat. Now, it is currently friendly. But here's the thing. If I want to persuade it to leave and gain control of that area, I've got to get a 10+. Its hostility is 10. But its combat is only 5. Spoils, +2 fire. Now, at the moment, I don't have any materials. I've used all my materials, so I need materials. Now, he is friendly, so I can actually see what he has. So on a 4+, no, okay, so he doesn't have anything for trade. So if I want anything from him, I need to fight him. The combat's only 5, and I do have my whip, which is +1. So it's going to be so I'm going to fight it. It's going to be a 4+. So 2 white dice, again, is my combat score, and the dark dice will be the degree of success or failure. So I need a 4+. Yes, so we defeat it. And we get the spoils, which is +2 fire. Again, I'm thinking that the character sheet should maybe have the material types written down. Right, so we have control of the T-junction, but I can't actually build anything there. Now, I do have 2 fire. I don't think there's going to be a device that's just fire, but let's have a look and see. No, nothing with just fire, so I'm going to need to have other materials to do anything. Oh, what was my degree of success? Ah, nuts. Was it 4? I can't remember. I'll have to check, but I think it was probably a 4 because I just moved the dice out of the way, didn't I? And I rolled a 5 for the attack. I think it was a 4. If I'm wrong, I'll make a note. But degree of success was 4. So again, we come here. Degree of success was a 4. Well done. You want a medal or something? Okay, have 1 hellish reputation point. Oh, thank you very much. So we get another reputation point. So we've now got 13. Good, good, good. I think this is my first game where my reputation's gone up before it goes down. Right, so we've now completed and got that area. We now have to determine the next area because I can't build anything. So next area is a 4, a medium room. Okay, I'm going to put that one here. So we've got a medium room, which is a 5x5, 666. Oh, that's the Heretic song, isn't it, by Slipknot? So this is 5. So area 5. What's the encounter? We get a 6. D6 materials, and you can take control of the area. Wow! Nice, nice, nice. Excellent. So again, we're going to be rolling. We get, is it D6 materials. So we get 4 of 5 feathers. So we get 4 feathers. Feather 4. Okay, and that's done. Again, we're going to check. Again, I'll be using my quick reference sheet in a while rather than keep using the book. Is there anything? What have I got? I've got fire and feathers, fire and water, bile and feathers, feather and wood. So yeah, fire and feathers is not a combo, so we don't get it. Okay, still can't build anything. Let us continue, but we do have that area under our control. Good, good, good. Let us go to the next area. Next area is... Oh, sorry, I got 4 feathers. Okay, next area is a 5. Oh, another large room. I could put it here, couldn't I? Connect these two together. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, you don't have to do them square. You can do them any shape you want as long as it's small, medium, or large. So this is going to be area 6. Okay, what's in the area here? 4. A friendly creature, but you'll still need to persuade or fight. To take control, it will trade without a skill check. Okay, so we got another creature in here. What do we got? We've got, oops, sorry. Black first. We got 53. What's a 53? A 53, it's a giant stink bug. A giant bug that stinks, obviously. Hostility 8, combat of 7, spoils is another 3 bile. Excellent, I can do more. Stink bomb! Devices of Torment. So another 3 would mean that I could fill this room up because a large room could put 6. But I've got, do I want to, actually I could trade, couldn't I? Yeah, I could trade. So area 6, we've got this giant stink bug. He has, oh no, that's the spoils. The spoils is 3 bile, so for that I'd have to defeat him in combat. Let's see if he's got any materials to trade. No other materials. So if I want anything from this bug, I've got to kill him. If I want control of the room, I can either kill him or tell him to go away, but that's going to be harder than fighting. So let's fight. So combat of 7, I get a +1, so I need a 6. 6 plus. This is not good. Why is it not good? Yes, I failed, but look. That was a 1. So I failed the combat, which means I do not gain control of the area. I lose the combat, and my degree of failure was a 1. Epic Fluster Cook. Lose 2 hellish reputation points, and any weapon you're using is destroyed. So my reputation goes down to 11, and my whip is destroyed, so I don't have my weapon anymore. Damn it! And I don't get bile. I don't get the bile either. The spoils. And I've lost that big room. Oh, nuts. That wasn't good at all. And again, like I'm saying with my house rule, if I lose a combat in an area, I can't actually, go through there to explore further. Ah, nuts! Right, so I've done the encounter. I can't build anything else with the materials I've got. I've still got 8 souls that I need to torture and torment. All right, next area. Where are we going now? A 6. Another T-junction. Okay. Another T-junction. Let's put it on this side here like a mirror of this, shall we? So 2, 4, 5. Donk, 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 donk. I'll put this one down to the edge of the room so it won't interfere if I put a room. Right, this is area 7. What do we find in this area? 7. 2d6 lost souls, and you can take control of the area. This is happening in the corridors, but I want this to happen in the rooms. Right, 2d6 lost soul. Wow, 11. So, so area 7, we get 11 lost souls. Okay, so we've now got 19 lost souls, which means my soul catcher is nearly full. I've got to get rid of these. I've got to start building stuff. Okay, so that's that done. We can't build anymore. Again, we don't have the right materials. Next area is a 2. A corridor, a straight or curved corridor. So, I can't build from there because I lost the combat. I can't build from there because I lost the combat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a corridor here. All right, like that. So I can then start building down here. Right, so this is area 8. Area 8. Right, what have we got in here? Encounter is 8. D6 materials, and you can take control. Again, corridor. I want control of rooms. I want to build stuff. D6 materials. Oh, that's good. I need materials. Again, I should be just using my quick reference sheet, but I'm doing this for you guys. Right, D6 materials. What do we get? We get 1 of 7. We get 1 piece of wood. Wow. Wow. Okay, so wood. 1. Right. Is there anything I can build with fire, feather, and wood? Let's have a look. Fire, feather, and wood. Fire and wood I can do hot feet. I can only build 1 because I've only got 1 wood. Wood and feather plus 1 lucky soul. Again, I've only got 1 wood. So I can only build 1 thing. That's a problem. Well, I've got to do what I can do. I've got to try and reduce my lost souls somehow. So I'm going to build a hot feet, a fire pit. Wood and fire. A miniature hell just for the soles of your feet. So 1 wood and 1 fire. Okay. So I'm going to put that in... I'm going to put that in room 5. So we have, where is it? Hot feet. But only one for the moment. So I can only put one soul in there for the moment. So room 5, this is a medium room, so I can actually put 4 in there. Right, so I'm using 1 fire, I'm using my wood, and I can get rid of 1 soul, so I've now got 4. But I have 18 in my soul capture. Excuse the camera jiggle. Jiggle. So I'm now back down to 18. Still a lot. Okay. So I've now got 4 tormented souls. Only 21 more to do. I'll go through a bit more. I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm just showing you how it plays. Okay, so we've done that. That was room 8. Room 8, we found 1 wood. Okay, next area. What is it going to be? Is it going to be another room? 4. Another medium room. Okay. So I will attach it here, I think. So again, 2, 3, 4, 5. A medium room. Again, I can put a maximum of 4 souls in here. So this is area 9. What do we find in here? 6. D6 materials, and we control. Okay, nice. D6 materials. D6 materials. 10 rope. I got 2 rope. I find 2 rope. Okay, rope. 2. All right, and we've got control of the area. But can I build anything? What have I got left? I've got feathers, fire, and rope. Let's have a look. Feathers, fire, and rope. Feathers, fire. I can't build nothing. Feathers, fire, and rope. I still can't build anything. Nuts! Ah! Dang. All right, next area. Area 10, we get a 6. That's a corridor, isn't it? Area 6, another T-junction. Can't build there, so this has to come out of here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this, I think T-junction. Yeah, I'm going to do like that. So this would be area 10. All right, what's in the T-junction? We get an 8. D6 materials. Okay, but give me something I can use. Give me something I can use. 5 of 5. Materials. 5. Bird's wing feathers. I get more feathers. I get 5 more feathers. I've got 9 feathers and I can't use them. All right, next area, to area 11. What do we get here? 5 feathers. Okay, area 11 is a 5. It's a large room. Okay, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. So we've got a large room here. I'm going to have to extend that corridor down, aren't I? Okay. So this is area 11. What do we find in there? We get a 9. A friendly creature, but you'll still need to persuade or fight it to take control. It will trade without a skill check. Okay. Friendly creature. What have we got? Black first. 53. Didn't I get a 53 before? 53! It's another giant stink bug. Maybe it's the same one. Was area 6 the stink bug? It was! Which we didn't defeat. So we got another giant stink bug. Stink bug. I don't know if it's maybe the same one or maybe it's a relation. It's the wife. This is the husband, this is the wife. Maybe. Right, it's friendly though. So we can actually trade. Okay, good. Yes, I will trade. I will trade. Let's have just a quick check. Stink bug, hostility 8, combat 7. So I'd rather fight it than persuade it to leave. But I could... Oh no, that's the spoils, isn't it? Ah, nuts. Let's see if it has anything for trade. I keep forgetting that. Does it have anything for trade? No. Damn it. So I can't trade. All right, we're going to have to fight it then, aren't we? No, I don't have my weapon anymore. So combat for the giant stink bug is a 7. I need a 7+. Swine. Swine! Nope. Nope. And the degree of failure is a 4. Lose 1 hellish reputation. Hey, we're back down to 10. And I don't get the room. Oh, these bugs. Let's do a few more areas and then we'll stop, I think, because I think you guys are getting the idea of how this game plays. Okay, next area is a 4. A 4 is a medium room. Now, I can put it here. I can put it here, I can put it here. Let's put it here. So we've got a medium room. Dump. So medium room, again, just for this example, I'm doing as 5. So this is a medium room here, and this is going to be area 12. Dump, dump, area 12. Right, what's in the room? 8. Materials again, okay. So we take control of the room and we got materials. So we're rolling, we get 1 of 7. 7 is wood, so I get 1 wood. I think I can use that to give me, was it wood and something? Hang on. Where's the things? There's the things. What did I use last time? I used wood and fire. Was it wood and fire? Yeah, I used wood and fire last time. So I could do that again. Or I could use wood and rope to do a head rush. Or wood, feather and a lucky soul to get a tickle bench. But again, it's just 1 wood, so I can only do 1 of those. So do I want to get rid of the fire or do I want to get rid of the rope? I think I'll get rid of, because I've got 2 rope, I've only got 1 fire, so I think I'll use the rope this time. So I will do a head rush, and I'll put that in room 5 as well. So we got a head rush times 1, so I get 1 soul there. So down to 17, up to 5. 20 more to do, yay! And I used 1 wood and I used 1 rope. Okay. This isn't very good. This isn't very impressive, is it? Great. All right, let's do 2 more areas. 3. A 3 is a small room. Okay, so a small room's 3 by 3. So we'll put the small room up here. This is going to be area 13. Is it going to be lucky for me? Area 13. What's there? We have 8 again. See, this is the thing. Whenever you roll 2d6, you've got that probability curve, the bell curve. So you're more likely to get 6, 7s and 8s than anything else. So 8 is more materials and we take control. So what materials do I get? I get 1 again, 5. I get 1 more feather. I've got so many feathers. Still can't blooming use it. I can't use it, can I? What have I got? I've got fire, feathers and rope. Fire, feathers and rope. No, I can't do nothing. It's not right. Right. So I got 1 feather. All right, last area for this video. If this video does well, if I get maybe some in the comments, if somebody wants a full playthrough right to the end of this, I would be willing to do that, but it would be a pretty long video. if I don't edit it down. But if you guys want a full video of this, of a full playthrough, I can do that. But at the moment, we're coming up to the last area, which is a 5, which is a large room. We're finishing the game with a large room. Now, the only open corridor I have is down here. So we have to bring this down to here. So it's going to be a large room. So 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. There we go. There's our large room to finish this playthrough with. And this is going to be area 14. Now, what's going to happen in this area? Are we going to have combat or are we going to find something else? We get a 9, a friendly creature. Okay, we're finishing with a creature. Let's have a look and see. What creature do we find? Oh, need this. Dark first. We get, I don't know if that's good or bad. Get a 66. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh no. The devil. What a perfect way to finish the playthrough. The last area for the playthrough. It's not the end of the game. Yeah, I haven't finished the game. I haven't tortured enough souls and I haven't lost the reputation. But in terms of this playthrough to show you how to play, the last area finishes with, I couldn't have scripted this any better. We end with the devil. Your boss. Move on. Combat infinity. Yeah. Hostility 12. So no spoils, can't be killed. Now, if I want to try and tell him or ask him to move away, I've got to roll that again. So let's say, okay, I don't want the devil in my room. I don't want my boss looking over my shoulder all the time. So I'm going to ask him to leave. But I'm going to politely, groveling down on all fours, I'm going to really ask him very nicely to leave. But again, we still have the degree of success or failure. Now, I need what I rolled just now. God. All right, hello, boss. Can you please leave? I'm cleaning up. I got one of them. And degree of failure is a 2. So he says, no, I'm staying. I'm keeping an eye on you. Get back to work. Degree of failure was a 2, which is the worst one. Lose 2. We're down to 8. The devil. What a perfect way to finish the playthrough. Right. So Bubblesack, the marine demon, has kind of his dungeon. Yeah, that's not accessible to us. But yeah, you can see how the game works here. You're basically going around, uncovering this dungeon, cleaning it out, gaining materials, finding souls, building these torture implements, and then putting the souls into those. Now, was this a successful playthrough in terms of success or failure? No. I wasn't finding different enough materials. The materials that I was finding weren't able to be combined enough for me to build enough devices to put the souls into. And I think that's actually a little bit of a problem when you look at how we're rolling the dice, because as I mentioned just now, when you're rolling 2d6, you have that element of probability, the bell curve, the distribution curve. When you're rolling 2d6, you have the most combinations to give you a 7, followed by a 6 and an 8. So when you're rolling 2d6, you're much more likely to get a 7 than anything else. And then a 6 and 8 will be close behind that. The chance of getting a 2 or a 12 is very, very low. Now, because of that, when you're rolling for encounters, you're more likely to get lost souls or materials. Yeah. When you're dealing with materials, again, you're rolling the 2d6, so you're more likely to get wood, sharp, or bile, or in my case, feathers after feathers after feathers. And looking at that, it's very, very hard to actually find water or cloth because they are at a roll of 2, a double 1, or a roll of 12, a double 6. So for things like cloth or water, you have to fight creatures that have those materials as their spoils. And again, that is purely based on your dice rolling, whether you actually roll up those creatures with those materials as part of their spoils. So if you don't roll the right numbers, and like I say, the chance of getting certain materials, the chance of certain encounters is not equal because of that distribution curve. So that kind of ramps up the difficulty a little bit. And as I say, in this example gameplay, I kind of came across that. I was finding feathers galore. Feathers everywhere. But I wasn't finding the right combo of materials to actually build the instruments I've needed. But that's what makes games fun, when you have that element of randomness. Also, those bloomin' bugs. Stink bugs. Oh, bane of bubble sack with stink bugs. Anyway, I hope through the intro where I explained the game, and then through the little bit of gameplay that I've included here, I hope you guys can see how the game works, whether it's something that you're interested in or not. But I do find it a nice little side game where if you have a spare couple of hours, you can play around with this. But like I say, you can also use it as a tool to actually create dungeons as well. I think I mentioned this earlier. There is at the back of the product a third-party license where you can actually come up with your own D666 designs, maybe with different themes, but using the same sort of mechanics. So they do have a license at the back here with requirements if you want to develop something along these lines, which I think is a nice touch. I mean, I was thinking maybe a Cthulhu themed one, maybe even some kind. I mean, I did a video, I think it was last Valentine's Day. I did a video on a game, I think by 101 Games, a telenovela simulator where you're basically creating this like a Latin American soap opera. I'll put the link here. Very, very different theme. But again, looking at something like this, I'm kind of thinking, can we do something like that? A soap opera version of D666? Obviously no demons, but in terms of areas, in terms of encounters, in terms of materials, you know, it could be possible to do something with a very different theme, like soap operas or maybe World War I, World War II. But using this as the foundation, as the skeleton of the actual game itself. That'd be interesting to see if anybody can actually come up with a variation on this game. But like I say, there is a third-party license at the back here that tells you how you can go about that. Now, the game, again, I'll put the link in the description below. You can get this from criticalkit. I did check after doing the introduction. You can get physical copies from the website. I think they are £10. You can also get the PDF, which I think is £5. But like I say, it's only 20 plus pages. It's not a big product, but it is a lot of fun, and it's a very clever design, very simple. It's just something that you can just pull out and play. So guys, if you did enjoy this, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. Ring the bell to be notified when I upload videos. Because of real life, I don't have a regular schedule. I don't release every Monday or every Friday, but I do release as often as I can. And let's have some comments below. What do you think of this game? Do you think it's something that you'll pick up? Do you think that you have an idea to create your own themed version of D666? Put it down in the comments and let me know. Right guys, until the next video, cheers, stay safe, see you later. Bye bye.